race, let's see. Well, getting just on the line and stuff, getting ready, I was feeling really good. I was looking forward to it. It was cold. It was obviously super windy, but like that wasn't really. I wasn't viewing it as an issue. I was just thinking, let's go out there and let's do this. So the race started off as usual. People go out so incredibly fast. They're like out sprinting, but by the time you get to that first hard left turn, it's kind of like in this off camber turn that gets kind of slippery by the end. But by that point, people were slowing down a lot. It got real congested, so we kind of shot up to the front right there, and that's when we started to get to the front of the pack, and then like we were just kind of cruising with everyone for the first uh, probably about kilometer or so, feeling really good, working together, hanging out, not really like necessarily like trying to surge away from people, but we were still up there, controlling it. And then it was about through a mile that Lex was like, all right, let's put in a surge. Let's start making this difficult. Let's make people hurt. And he started to push really hard, and I was like, oh, I guess I got to go with him, because we like to really we like to work together. So I was like, okay, I'll go with him, and we just started pushing it, and the rest of the pack was coming too, but it did help string out the pack itself. And this is the point where you're starting to make your way over to the horseshoes. We were still working pretty hard, pushing the downhills, working surges, and like going up around the big horseshoe turn. We we tried to put in another really hard surge, which also helped string out the pack, and like that was really like the story for the bulk of the race. Like coming back down and around through the start again, it was about pushing that stretch a lot, and I think we made some pretty good ground, and that was where like the whole pack was starting to string out quite a bit more, and that was making probably making it a tougher race for everyone, which is good. That's what we were trying to do. And then probably I think that brings us to about 3 kilometers in. And then probably I think pretty close to there was when uh, it was we were pushing it hard, and then some people kind of just like let go a little bit. Like I noticed, I think that was when Lex was really starting to feel the repercussions. But I noticed, and I looked behind me, and like no one was like right next to me, and I was like, oh well, I can't really live this down. Like I gotta commit to this. So I just kept so I tried to go a little bit faster, and I was building the gap. And at that point, where you were approaching about 4 kilometers, I had a pretty good size gap on a lot of the pack, and I was sustaining that pretty well through the last kilometer and stuff. But it wasn't really until you dip down the hill, until you go like downhill, coming right into 400 meters to go, or which is like where those like tabletop hills are, that like my body really started to like shut down. It was really just like a feeling of like lactic acid overwhelming me, where I was losing significant control over my legs to keep them going, and that just made it really really difficult to get up the hill. And ultimately, a lot of great athletes were able to get past me and really finish strong.